We are local music.
Listen to the Empowered Caregiver Show each Saturday and Sunday morning at 9 a.m. with hosts Liza Hellenbrand and Kristen Voss.
Right here on Devil Radio 92.7, WTTN 1580 AM, and the Devil Radio app.
You are listening to WTTN 1580 AM Columbus, W224 EG Madison, always streaming on the Devil Radio app.
AP News, I'm Tim McGuire. The Biden administration, through the Department of Health and Human Services, tells hospitals they must provide abortion services if the life of a mother is at risk, saying federal law on emergency treatment guidelines preempts state laws in jurisdictions that now ban the procedure without exception. The department says its guidance doesn't reflect new policy, but merely reminds doctors and providers of their existing obligations under federal law. A petition effort in Michigan, which generated 750,000 signatures, places an effort to codify abortion rights in the state constitution on the ballot in November.
The number of signatures show that here in Michigan, we trust women, we trust people, we trust doctors, not politicians, to make decisions about our body.
Shanae Watson-Whitaker with Reproductive Freedom for All. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says Iran is supplying Russia with drones.
Our information indicates that the Iranian government is preparing to provide Russia with up to several hundred UAVs, including weapons-capable UAVs, on an expedited timeline.
Sullivan says Iran could be training Russians on how to use the drones as soon as this month. In Ukraine, Russian artillery continues to bombard cities. 6 people killed in 3 missile strikes on a shopping center and in private residences in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. Russian President Vladimir Putin is making additional moves to annex areas of Ukraine already in his military's hands. St. Louis Federal Reserve President James Bullitt tells the AP the economy is healthy and shows little signs of an imminent recession and can withstand higher interest rates.
Now we have lots of inflation. But the question is, can we get back to 2% without disrupting the economy? I think we can.
Stocks down for the day. The Dow lost 164, while the S&P slipped 44. The Nasdaq dropped 262. This is AP News.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget is available as a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
We tried Dynovite for gut health and immune support, and after a couple of weeks, our little Gizmo was acting like a puppy again. His coat was shinier, he had a lot less scratching and shedding, and he seemed like his happy old self.
My dog smelled and scratched constantly. We bathed and sprayed her, took her to the vet, but no results. Now, a little Dynovite in her food helps Bella keep her beautiful coat with no scratching or smell.
Get 10% off your next order of Dynovite nutritional supplements for dogs at Dynovite.com. Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
I find your lack of Devil Radio 92.7 disturbing. Do not fail me again.
Ah, that really hits the spot. So we get to put away the Senator Sanders impersonation for a little while? I'm not saying that he's gone for good, but stopping out here at the Atomic Koi in Pittsburgh is really helping the Plastered for Progress agenda. Yeah, the Koi's a great spot. It's got great vibes, and the patio is perfect for spring. I'm staying here. They do have operating hours, Brian. Time has no meaning here. That's what makes the Koi atomic. Does that mean that it's always patio season at the Atomic Koi? Even if the patio's closed. Suck down drinks so we don't have to suck.
At Chad's Design Build, we care deeply about the quality of the services that we provide to our clients. An excellent remodeling experience requires communication, honesty, accuracy, and a detailed plan, all of which helps to create a satisfied client. And these commitments spell our name. To learn more about the Chad's remodeling experience, go to chadsdesignbuild.com. Building a better world, one remodeled home at a time, and celebrating 30 years of excellence.
Hi folks, this is Kirk Bankstad at the Monaco Brewing Company, and I am proud to introduce you to Choice, our new pink grapefruit flavored hard seltzer. Choice was made in collaboration with Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin, and 5% of the proceeds from every can goes to support them and their fight for reproductive freedom. Choice Hard Seltzer tastes great and comes in at only 105 calories per can. Go to our website, MonaccoBrewingCompany.com, to find where you can buy Choice Hard Seltzer.
Devil Radio, your fix for progressive news talk from Black Earth to Columbus. Always streaming at DARNWI.com.
For Devil Radio, 92.7 FM and WTTN 1580 AM, I'm Luke Mathers with your headlines. According to conservative groups in Wisconsin, beginning in 2023, there will be attempts by the Republican-led legislature to further limit abortion access in the state, despite a 173-year-old law outlawing most abortions in Wisconsin. Attorneys with the Thomas More Society say their agenda for legislation includes measures to allow Wisconsinites to sue anyone who helps a resident receive abortion care in another state and looking to ban the use of abortion pills in Wisconsin. Candidates running in the GOP gubernatorial primary did not comment on whether or not they would support further clamping down on abortion access in the state. Incumbent Governor Tony Evers has vowed to oppose any measures further limiting abortion access in Wisconsin. Cloudy skies with a chance for a stray thunderstorm possible in the forecast, with winds up to 20 miles an hour and a high today of 85 degrees. Mostly clear skies expected throughout the evening with an overnight low of 64 degrees. You're listening to Devil Radio, 92.7 FM and WTTN 1580 AM.
Devil Radio programming is produced live in the Solidarity Realty Studios. Find them at solidarityrealty.com. Solidarity Realty. There is an alternative.
Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves and corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening. Now live from the Devil Radio Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning. Welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Here is your host, Mike Crute.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. The Monday, we're live. We're doing it live, Dominic. We're doing it live, my friend. You with
doing
me?
it and doing it and doing it well. Yeah, man, we're doing it live. Absolutely. Crudy, as you are aware, Donald Trump unfortunately had to cancel a Greensboro rally set for this Friday? Because apparently he's got to show up and testify to a subpoena in New York on the same day. The American Freedom Tour, they said that they were selling tickets, number one, for up to $3,955.
How much?
Wow, almost $4,000.
Go to a Trump rally?
Tickets for the event were being sold for up to $3,955. I mean, that's more expensive than a Stones tour ticket, man. The organizers cited unforeseen circumstances for the rescheduling. You know what? This has been on the docket for a while, man. What are you talking about, unforeseen circumstances? Yeah, I guess unforeseen in the fact maybe you thought your Teflon Don Cheeto Jesus would get out of this one. He's not getting out of it, and he had to cancel. But hell, maybe Junior and Guilfoyle and Pirro will still show up, and you'll get maybe a couple grand of your money back.
What about Rudy?
Don't count on it.
They could always book Rudy.
Rudy?
He's a hot ticket, I hear.
Didn't Rudy? I saw that
killing it.
He got
killing it on Cameo.
The guy slapped him on the back and said, "What's up, scumbag?" He's claiming that all of a sudden this is causing all sorts of medical problems.
He's got stents now.
Because I mean, it's a freaking joke, man. This is what the Republican Party has come to. This is what they are.
Well, and it's all come to a head now. Former President Donald Trump faces a particularly turbulent week. Significant developments are expected in a number of investigations surrounding him, Trump, right? Over the next 7 days, criminal, civil, and congressional panels investigating incidents where Trump is implicated will all hear key testimonies as part of the ongoing proceedings. Newsweek, my source here, Tom. On Tuesday, the House Select Committee investigating the events of January 6, 2021 is set to stage its latest hearings on the events leading up to the Capitol riots. The committee's 7th live televised hearing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 heaven, perhaps. We'll see. The committee's 7th live televised hearing is set to focus on connections between the Trump administration and far-right extremist groups such as the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys.
And let's just pause for a moment. Again, what was the nexus of this? What was the tie-in? Right? Well, it was Mike Flynn and Roger Stone.
Be there, be wild. Several leading members of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers have been charged in connection with the January 6th riot, including those what if they've been accused of, seditious conspiracy.
Oh, that's right.
It is also believed that the testimony from former White House counsel Pat Cipollone will be played at tomorrow's hearing. That's new news.
Excellent.
A little Cipollone, that would be super great. Cipollone is said to have expressed fears to former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson that if Trump marched with his supporters to the Capitol on January 6th, that the administration was going to get charged with every crime imaginable. And I got a hell of an imagination, Dom. The lawyer also frequently pushed back on the former president's attempt to overthrow the government. I hope he did. I hope Cipollone was doing his job. And
I got to tell you, this I'm down with the voter suppression and everything, but the overthrow of the government, that's just a step too far.
Dom, I wonder if our newer friends hearing us for the first time in drive time, AM 950 Minneapolis, you could always be a part of this big show. 844-967-2789. They'll hear us at WCPT 820 AM in Chicago. And of course, they're listening on the Shaw, 101 FM down in Waukesha. And here in Madison, I guess 580 AM, WTTN. It's all going mostly.
Excellent.
And we'll go to the phone soon. But Cipollone set for closed-door depositions Friday for 8 hours now. That's my understanding.
Damn.
And also on Tuesday, a British filmmaker behind the three-part docuseries, a three-part docuseries, Unprecedented, is scheduled to testify to a grand jury in Georgia investigating Trump and his inner circle committed to crime and their attempts to overturn the election results.
Wait, wasn't this guy already? He has turned over at least the video footage of this docuseries to the J6 committee as well.
Alex Holder is his name.
He's getting around.
And now he's giving testimony. The big, what was it, Discovery Plus? The big docuseries launched this weekend.
Let me rephrase that. According to Newsweek here, Alex Holder was subpoenaed by prosecutors.
In Georgia,
who asked for all video footage and other materials related to the docuseries entitled Unprecedented, which detailed the Trump family in the final few weeks of the 2020 presidential campaign, as well as the aftermath of the January 6th attack.
Now read the next sentence.
Holder's lawyer, Russell Smith, previously confirmed to the Associated Press that the filmmaker will appear before the special grand jury in Atlanta on July 12th. That's tomorrow. That investigation, led by Fulton County DA Fani Willis, originally looked into Trump's phone call. Remember, Crudy fined 11,780 votes. Of course, Trump says it's perfect. The probe was also looking into a prosecutor called a multi-state coordinated plan by Trump's campaign to influence the results of the November 2020 election in Georgia and elsewhere.
Wisconsin's elsewhere.
Wisconsin, yeah. Maybe Pennsylvania, maybe Michigan. And on Friday, as we mentioned, Trump and two of his adult children, Ivanka and Junior, will testify finally under oath as part of New York Attorney General's civil probe into alleged tax fraud carried out by the Trump Organization. Tish James.
It's going to feel like a long day for the Trump.
It's got to be. It's got to be. The long-running probe is looking into allegations the family business exaggerated the value of assets in order to obtain better loans, tax breaks, and other financial benefits.
Committed massive tax fraud is really what's being related there.
And now the thing about how long ago was it that Michael Cohen specifically testified to this? I mean,
way back in 2017, Cohen was under the microscope, but above and beyond that, it was during the Kavanaugh hearings that the Pulitzer Prize-winning journalism was dropped at the New York Times, and the New York Times published all of the hedges that Trump used, the Trump family used to effectively cook the books and try to pass massive amounts of wealth through without paying any sort of taxation whatsoever. And they did so by overbooking themselves. Effectively, if something cost $1,000, they'd bill themselves $20,000 through a third party, which they also happen to own. So it was a sweet little deal till they got caught. And they only got caught because Trump ran for president. Oh, yeah, there was the sister that was the federal judge. Her taxes apparently also subject to scrutiny. So the prior reporting, which again was Pulitzer Prize winning, at the New York Times only suffered from the fact it competed with the Kavanaugh hearings for the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah. And what happened to the former, the sister of the former Supreme Court judge?
She retired.
She resigned, yes. Quickly.
Now, Mary Trump's suing the whole family because they screwed her out of her inheritance. Because in part, this was a tax shield, but in part, this was screwing Mary Trump and a few others, apparently.
Wow.
But now he's got to go defend it under sworn oath. These depositions. This is not about a minor issue. This is about a massive tax fraud.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, if you say something's worth, $10 million one day and it's worth $50 million the next, depending on who you're talking to and what paperwork you're filing, I mean, that's perhaps a $10, $20, $40 million swing on just one property. Imagine that over time, over and over again, between laws and property tax, appeals, for example, and everything else. I mean, the guy is going to be under oath, and Donald Trump cannot tell the truth. So Donald Trump is going to perjure himself. Oh, you can take the fifth, but if you take a fifth or in a civil case, the fact that you took the fifth can and will be used against you in the court of law because it's not a criminal case.
So Trump and the two kids testifying Friday, not going to be in Greensboro. My first memories of Greensboro, I was a young man. I got dragged down to North Carolina. My mom had family down there, and we moved as a family in the Woody station wagon, U-Haul behind. And we moved to a city called Gardner, North Carolina. One of the first nights, watched the news there. And in Greensboro, North Carolina, there was a shootout. I hadn't seen a lot of that in Wisconsin, where I hailed from. But there was a shootout between the Nazis and the KKK. And they were shooting it out in downtown Greensboro. Like 5 people wounded, 7 people. It was a pretty big deal. And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, man, I didn't know there was a Ku Klux Klan.
Or Nazis fighting each other.
This was in the early 1980s. or active Nazi parties, and they're out in the park shooting at each other. I'm going to let that
Bill McCoys.
It was right shortly after we moved. Summer of 80, I bet. 1980. Anyways, we'll make time for callers.
So let's just recap some of these dates that we know about today, and hope for the best. So the Trump and the kids, the 2 kids, Ivanka and Junior, testifying under oath in the civil case, the Tish James fraud case. That's Friday, Friday. Next week, a week from today, the 18th, Bannon is going to court, right? And then Lindsey Graham, as reported over the weekend, Lindsey Graham is ordered by a judge to show up to the Fulton County grand jury in Georgia investigating that fraud. Lindsey Graham's got to show up August 2nd. And also, remember, the Tuesday, tomorrow, the time for the hearing is now noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. And the Thursday, this coming Thursday, that one's been canceled. Too much information. That's going to be live next week, at least as the schedule permits. So a lot going on, a lot of things to keep in mind.
Did you put Senator Graham down for August 2nd?
August 2nd, yes, sir.
August 2nd. Make a note of it. Come back. More Devil's Advocates.
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
Taking your kids to their first baseball game. Getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. Get the latest info about COVID-19 vaccines at getvaccineanswers.org. It's up to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
President Trump lost the election. Joe Biden won the election.
Collectively, Republicans got 1.661 million votes, 51,000 more votes than Trump got.
He exhausted his cases. He exhausted the court challenges.
All the Republicans voted for Trump the way they voted for the Assembly candidacy.
It was not rigged. It was not stolen. Donald Trump lost the election. Joe Biden won the election. It's really clear.
This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org.
The Devil's Advocates, the fix for political junkies everywhere.
You recall the Capitol insurrection? A post-ABC News poll showed 54% said Trump should be criminally charged for inciting a riot. That's like a litany of criminal allegations against the former president. They say it's all partisanship and a witch hunt, but there wasn't one credible accusation against Obama during his entire 8-year term. So how Republicans just ignore all the evidence? I mean, he was perpetrating a coup on multiple levels.
Follow the Devil's Advocates on Facebook and Twitter.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Devil's Advocates, rock and roll political commentary in a top 40 world.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Phone lines are open. Going there momentarily at 844-967-2789. One more note of talking about these dates, and let's remember the documentarian who's doing this film, Unprecedented, will testify tomorrow at the Fulton County. So, folks, it's getting hot. It's speeding up. Keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully we get some good info out from the J6 committee tomorrow. 844.
I just want to see the Cipollone testimony,
and that will be apparently going to show video tomorrow. Tomorrow, you don't have to wait too long. Crudy, noon Eastern, 1 Pacific. Mark from the Sack, you're up. Happy Monday, man. What do you got for us?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, I just paid $3.99 a gallon for gas. When I swung by.
Joe Biden did that.
It's a Biden deflation, man.
You know, I took a picture of the gas sign today because it was $4.19 and 9 cents. And I'm like, come on, man, just put $4.20 up there.
Everyone will appreciate it.
It's just kind of, and Rudy complaining about somebody touching him on the back. I mean, that it's just.
I got smacked on the back, but we've all had a drunken friend do more than that. I think Dom did that to John Podesta once at a press conference.
Barely a pad, Mark. I mean, I saw the video, and for the guy to claim any sort of assault, I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, talk about snowflakes. Rudy Giuliani, what? The guy patted him on the back and said, "What's up, scumbag?" and so because his pride was hurt, his back got broken. I mean, come on.
It's ridiculous. I mean, these guys. Biggest snowflakes around are these damn Republicans that are crying about this and crying about that. It is just. I mean, back in the good old days, I mean, those guys got into fisticuffs and they didn't complain anything about it. I mean, the guys got pelted with back after the founding. I mean, some of our politicians got pelted with rotten vegetables and they just sucked it up. I mean, not that I'm calling for that to happen, but I mean that Rudy Giuliani's got to grow a set. I mean, he was a big prosecutor when he was in New York, but I mean he just has to grow up, because what's going to happen to him when he goes to prison over some of this stuff? He's going to have to watch that bar of soap.
He's going to lose his mattress, Mark. That's for sure. Thanks for the call, man. 844-967-2789. Speaking of the price of gas going down, CJ, welcome. What do you got for us?
Yeah, but he created the high gas prices. You guys are going to give him.
How did he create it exactly?
I mean, he lowers the.
How exactly, CJ? How did Biden make the gas go up?
On day one, he signed an executive order to pack the energy.
The whole XL Keystone pipeline. You're hanging your hat on a job that had a completion date in 2030, CJ.
President's executive order to Commander cut and run.
CJ, what if the gas prices are back down to like 3.25 by election day, dude? What are you gonna complain about?
When they get down to what he took over, when he took over office,
The pandemic deflated prices of a world pandemic.
Of a recession, right? Because of that
presidency. He's doing such a great job.
You know that. Hang on. I just want to be clear here. And CJ, perhaps we'll let you talk if you let me make a point here. I mean, when you talk about the price of oil, number one, set aside the deal that was cut with Mexico and Saudi Arabia with Trump, set aside the purposeful reduction of production and refining organized by Trump, set that aside and recognize that we are in the midst of a global crash during Trump's presidency. And as such, oil prices and gas prices plummeted because of the lack of demand. It's a supply and demand thing. CJ, now you go.
Conveniently, you don't mention the $10 million gallons that Hunter Biden company got from Daddy. So convenient.
Okay, man. Hunter Biden. Yeah, we'll let that one go as well. CJ, you got to come up with some new material, dude. I mean, maybe the anti-abortion stuff, stand up.
No, Hunter Biden was trending on Twitter the other day for no reason at all. Just someone on Fox News decided it was time to go hammer Hunter again, and that apparently is what CJ's taking his lead from.
You gotta. I mean, it's nothing new, and you gotta go to the well. You gotta come up with something more, something tangible, CJ. Otherwise, it's one thing to not want to vote for the Democrat because of Democratic policies, but then you have to consider what your alternatives are, CJ. Are you gonna stay home, or if Trump may say he's gonna run, he ain't running. Who's your guy then?
He's
DeSantis?
Ron.
Well, I mean, like you ran. I mean, you got to define what running actually looks like.
Hey,
like he's going to start reporting his income on his campaign finance reports.
He never did.
That's going to happen.
He never did. Why would he,
man? He's running like you ran. He's not running.
Hey, that's the second time you said that, man. I'm going to reach through and smack you.
Well, but this is what I'm telling you, man.
You take that trash
just because you say you're running doesn't mean you're running.
Well, effectively, it would for him. I mean, I didn't go run for president. You do have to make a federal declaration. And Trump effectively is already running. He's raising money, right? He's
grifting?
Yes.
I mean, grifter's going to grift, man. So what? Of course he's grifting. And they're charging $4,000 for a freaking Trump rally, dude. Yeah, it's a grift.
Well, once he declares he's a presidential candidate, there's going to be a cap on the amount of grifting he can do. Then he's going to have to declare the grift. You know what I mean? It's a limiting factor. But I think he's going to do it potentially as soon as this month. Maybe between now and Friday's depositions, right? I mean, this guy needs a serious change of topic. And his candidacy for the presidency, that's just what he would need to do to, change all of our topics.
And that will, I don't doubt that he will claim that. But he ain't running. He's not going to run.
Why do you think he's not running? You say that so, strongly, like you've got some insight.
I just don't buy it, man. Because look, he's Donald Trump. He's got so much headway. He's got to testify under oath on Friday.
That's not a great persuasive argument.
You think that he's going to be able to get away with testimony on Friday without perjuring himself? You think that Tish James, an attorney general out of New York State, is going to allow that to happen? You don't think something's going to come down on that prior to the race in 2024, dude? Come on. That's just one of God knows how many.
You can't prosecute a presidential candidate. It's a witch hunt. That's exactly why he's got to run.
Especially if you just run to avoid prosecution.
Well,
that's the point.
It's a get out of jail free card.
No, it ain't. You got to win.
Come back, more devils.
You merely made radio your ally. I was born on the radio. Devil Radio 92.7.
Dark Horse Art Bar is Madison's newest live music venue and art gallery on East Washington Avenue. Check out these upcoming events at the Dark Horse. Get your 10 seconds of fame at the Open Mic with Pinhead McFly. Open Mic is the second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. Open Mic with Pinhead McFly. at the Dark Horse. Dark Horse Art Bar and Gallery, 756 East Washington Avenue. Find them online at darkhorsemadison.com.
Listen to the Empowered Caregiver Show each Saturday and Sunday morning at 9 a.m. with hosts Liza Hellenbrand and Kristen Voss.
Right here on Devil Radio 92.7, WTTN 1580 AM, and the Devil Radio app.
Hi, this is Brad from Zero Res. If you need someone to help with your carpet cleaning, business or residence, please give us a call. We have the best system available and an amazing team of friendly technicians. Call us at 848-9000 or schedule online at zeroresmadison.com.
Gas prices falling. I'm Tim McGuire with an AP News Minute. Gas prices have fallen nearly a quarter a gallon nationwide over the past month. Analyst Trilby Lundberg.
19 cents per gallon. Combined with the prior drop, this is a drop of 24 cents per gallon.
Lundberg expects the prices to continue to drop another 10 to 20 cents a gallon. James Bullard, president of the St. Louis Federal Reserve, tells the AP there is little sign the economy is headed into recession.
Anecdotal information that I get from the 8th District and from around the country just does not suggest anything like a recession.
Bullard is confident the entire Federal Reserve Board won't have to drive the economy into recession or significantly raise unemployment to bring inflation down to its 2% target. He supports another 0.75% increase in the Fed's benchmark short-term interest rate at their next meeting later this month. I'm Tim McGuire.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget is available as a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
We tried Dynavite for gut health and immune support, and after a couple of weeks, our little gizmo was acting like a puppy again. His coat was shinier, he had a lot less scratching and shedding, and he seemed like his happy old self.
My dog smelled and scratched constantly. We bathed and sprayed her, took her to the vet, but no results. Now, a little Dynavite in her food helps Bella keep her beautiful coat with no scratching or smell.
Get 10% off your next order of Dynavite nutritional supplements for dogs at Dynavite.com. Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynavite.
From Up North News, I'm Pat Kreitlow. Hey, the clerks are back. In the early spring, we told you about how local elections clerks helped make a commercial to explain to voters how Wisconsin elections are safe and secure because it's your own neighbors who are the ones being trusted with running them. And now they have a new ad explaining the safeguards to ensure that ballots are counted fairly. And if you want to watch or learn more, just call them up and ask. We have that story in our newsletter. Plus, an investigative outlet is showing how the DA in Fond du Lac County has made life miserable for a woman who made a mistake in her voter registration, accusing her of felony fraud as he tries to make a name for himself while he runs in the Republican primary for state attorney general. We have those stories and more in our daily newsletter and in our social media feeds. To get that newsletter, sign up at our website. Go to upnorthnewswi.com.
The Devil's Advocates. So relevant, they have 1 foot in tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show, the Monday edition, rolling through the happy hour. Always happier when you join at 844-967-2789. It's so tedious when it's CJ every day. Dominic, you had some new news to report about some documents, some negotiations.
This discussion about whether or not Trump runs, quote unquote. I mean, I will acknowledge Trump may claim he's going to run, right? I get that part, but he ain't running. And I just think there's so many headwinds against him. There's so many investigations. I mean, we talked about a few of them. Bannon's testifying, right? This guy doing the documentaries testifying. Lindsey Graham's going to testify. We got Cipollone. We got another hearing coming up on Tuesday. We're going to hear tomorrow Cipollone's testimony. We still got the $250 million that Trump took from everybody, claiming it was going to be for.
So you'll have the well-funded campaign, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, but those the inauguration issue, right? He spent all the money during his inauguration.
Oh, that's already been
still not
cleaned
settled.
up. Oh, yes.
That's not
mostly cleaned up.
Not cleaned up. Cleaned up how?
Well, it just didn't amount to criminal charges.
And from the Business Insider, let's not forget, Cushman Wakefield. A true scrutiny has been struck in a heated battle between longtime Donald Trump appraisers, Cushman and Wakefield, and the New York Attorney General, who is still seeking thousands of documents as she wraps up her probe into the Trump organization. Tish James going to wrap this probe up this year. I mean, it's over, dude. It's going to be over for Trump just on this one, let alone the litany, the list of all the other things this man has done will all catch up to him at about the same time. It's going to be domino, bang, bang, bang.
When
bang.
you say catch up, though, you're talking about even if they're civil penalties, because my understanding is Tish James is contemplating civil penalties.
Correct.
So that's not the same as a criminal, and it would still be years in the courts, right? So that's not going to take Trump down, not between here and election.
And there's still, I know you're not a fan of Manhattan DA Bragg, but that's still out there as well. I know Bashar, when she comes up, they're sharing information. She's going to come up with her final result of her investigation will be done this year. That's my take. And the New York Manhattan DA, if there is obvious criminality there, they're not going to drop that, man. They've been doing a parallel investigation this whole time. This testimony that Trump is giving and the kids are giving on Friday has been fought over because Trump is like, I can't testify to that because there's a parallel, criminal investigation going on. I mean, this is the hook, man. Trump either has to lie under oath or claim the fifth, and either way, he's screwed.
No,
let's go on. I'll just go on to the Cushman Wakefield because this is new news as of a few minutes ago from the Business Insider. Under the agreement hashed out in an appellate court in Manhattan, Cushman, the real estate appraiser company, has an extended deadline until midnight Monday to turn over a subset of priority, quote-unquote, overdue documents sought by Attorney General Letitia James. James has been asking since September for Cushman to turn over all emails and other communications concerning any work the company has performed for Trump, his businesses, or his properties over the last decade. Under this new agreement, Cushman will single out the 10 most relevant past and present employees and turn over Trump-related emails and communications from only those individuals by midnight on Monday. An additional July 20 deadline has been set for Cushman to give the AG a so-called privilege log detailing what documents are being held back due to attorney-client privilege. Both sides will then ask for the probe's presiding judge to lift a potentially costly $10,000 a day contempt of court fine. Why are all these people who are associated with Donald Trump always in contempt of court? I mean, isn't this a trend? I mean, you kidding me, Republicans? All you honest business, God-fearing, small government people and, law and order, and this is your savior? Everybody around him pleads the fifth or is in contempt of court? I mean, this is the guy you hold up as the savior of democracy? Come on! If Cushman
He is
fails,
the vessel of God.
If Cushman fails to meet the Monday or July 20 deadline, the deal is off and the contempt order shall become effective. Then they got to pay. James is investigating, of course, the financial misstatements. Trump would inflate and lowball the values of his asset. A couple specifics here. 3 Cushman appraised Trump properties in the court filings listed. The Trump building at 40 Wall Street in Manhattan, which was used to collateralize a loan. The Seven Springs Estate in Westchester County, New York, and the Trump National Golf Course near Los Angeles. The 2 latter properties were used by Trump to secure $5 million in tax breaks, the AG said. I guess that's about it. The agreement allows Cushman to focus on a smaller subset. We talked about that. Since the beginning of the New York Attorney General's investigation, Cushman has endeavored to cooperate with the investigation, responding to multiple document subpoenas and 8 testimony subpoenas. I wonder what the response to the testimony subpoenas are. So some new news there. Trump is going to, and the kids testify on Friday in this regard. Now, the appraisers have until midnight tonight to turn over very specific communications with 10 individuals, focusing on very specific identified properties. So, yeah.
Again, that's a civil case, and that will not end his political career. So you've flushed out more detail. I appreciate it, Tom. We try to bring detail and breaking news, but that ain't the one that's going to break the camel's back. And it's certainly not going to be the other one you mentioned. Now, the testimony of the J6, well, yeah, that's got some sting to it, but only if it's backed up by the Department of Justice.
How about Fulton County?
Fulton County, yeah, that could be a bigger deal. That could be a bigger deal.
I mean, the guy started a coup, right? He's been a criminal and lying about everything and everything he touches, and inflating, deflating his assets, playing these games. He got him on tape with 11,780 votes. He was 187 minutes missing when everyone's getting attacked. You know, Mike Flynn and Roger Stone were the contacts between the Proud Boys. Mike Flynn's brother was on the call with the Pentagon that didn't respond, and the Army lied about it. I mean, dude,
but why would any of that?
We're just scratching the surface, brother.
Yeah, but why would any of that prevent Trump from running for president? In which case, if he's successful, he thinks he can pardon himself and everyone around him. That gives him all the more incentive to do so. I don't know why you think
he's not
that's
going to make it to 2024, dude. That's what I'm telling you. He's not going to make it to 2024.
We're almost to 2022.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
2 years to the future election.
Not going to happen.
I would be willing to bet you money, were I a betting man, Dom, there will not be a trial for Donald Trump as such between now and the presidential election of 2024. There might be stuff in the courts. There might be suits filed. He'll jam them up and down and up and down, and there will be 20 or 30 sets of litigation before they ever even get to, whatever's next.
Really?
But I don't think you're going to have
any
a trial.
impression. And we maybe got to talk to
the wheels of justice.
We got to talk to some Megan Dawn. But what gives you the impression that he can jam up for 2 years civil litigation that has already taken a year and a half?
Buddy, we entered a locked building apparently during a pandemic, right?
Allegedly.
Cited
I walked in.
That was the same week that the false Trump electors were up there casting their fraudulent election. They haven't even been charged. We've been in the queue for going on 2 years now. We don't even have a court appearance yet. And we're not even fighting the transaction. You know what I mean? We're looking forward to it. So can you see how slowly these processes play out?
Delaying an administrative code violation for an alleged entry.
Who's delaying it?
What's that?
Not us. Not us dragging our feet.
We were looking for continued information. What's Trump going to do? I mean, this is a civil case, dude. He's testifying. You think that he can?
He'll sue to block it.
What makes you think?
The Supreme
look at Bannon.
Court.
Let's take Bannon for example, right? Bannon contempt of Congress. Why do you just delay that? Delay, right? Well, because at some point you got to show up, and at some point you got to say something, and that point for Trump is Friday, dude. And he's going to perjure himself or plead the fifth, and that's going to push everything forward.
But how are you going to know
if what you're saying is true? How come Bannon isn't delaying his case until 2024? How come
for Bannon?
Lindsey Graham isn't going to delay until 2024?
Well, A, Lindsey Graham hasn't been criminally charged. B, Bannon has, but it's an uncomplicated case, all things considered.
So
the only question was
was
whether or not
bank
there was
fraud,
executive
man. Was the value of the building X or was it Y? And when you went for the tax break, was it Y or was it X?
I would say that's significantly more complicated.
In what regard? How? Why? Why is it complicated? You did real estate, man. That's very simple.
Well, yes and no, dude. We're talking about, cooking books and double sets of books and inflated things. I mean, and now trying to get the common man to understand that this is not just.
It's not a common man. It's a court case, dude. It's not. I mean, so what?
Yeah, but who's going to be on the jury? Donald Trump's peer.
Who doesn't understand a value of a mortgage or a piece of property? You really can't. You think people can't grasp the reality of that, man?
Well, what do you insure? How does that differ from what the bank may evaluate the property? No, I don't think every consumer is sophisticated enough to know how that would work in Manhattan on high-rise real estate with leverage from frickin' Russian banks, man. I don't.
That's a whole another story. You don't even have to get there. You're telling me that a jury in New York would not be savvy enough to comprehend the concept of increasing an asset? I mean, when Cohen gave his testimony to Congress, do you think people were like, "Wow, What does that mean? Is that a logarithm? I don't understand how that works. Come on, it's
then
very
why
simple.
hasn't Trump been charged up until now? You know what I mean? If it's that straightforward and that simple. And I honestly think if
because Cohen gave him the evidence to do so. Where was the evidence prior to this? Before Cohen went to jail for covering for Trump or the Stormy Daniels payoff.
Apparently they were in his sister's federal judicial disclosures. I mean, the January 6th, the New York Times has copious source notes and prior taxes and photocopies. So the information's been out there at least since Kavanaugh joined the court. Just in the public reporting and no charges. Now, I realize this litigation's moving forward, but it's just a grand jury. It's an investigatory grand jury, in which case you got to bring a civil litigation.
You're talking about Tish James?
Well,
about New York?
I think the New York, ultimately, I don't think the New York is the one that takes Trump down. I think that the Fulton County DA seemingly is moving with the most alacrity. And the obvious
What are you talking about? Trump's under oath Friday. Well, where's Trump and Fulton County DA? He's not anywhere near that case yet. Tish James is way ahead of the curve.
When you can't compel the defendant to testify anyways.
He's a defendant in this. Wait, what do you mean? I mean, it's a civil case, right? He doesn't have to testify. He can plead the fifth and admit his guilt.
About that. But yes, my point is you don't bring in Trump in Fulton County until you're ready to charge Trump.
Why would? Okay, so if that's your case, then why would you don't think Tish James is ready to charge Trump?
I don't think she can charge Trump. It's not a criminal act that she's investigating.
It's a civil case. Yes.
So you don't charge. You don't issue charges. You don't bring charges to the grand jury. You issue a civil suit and you sue him through the civil process. And if he loses, he owes a fine. That's not going to end his career. The guy's paid lots of fines.
They will close the Trump organization like they closed the Trump college, whatever the Trump school was. It's a fraudulent deal, dude. He's going to lose it all.
But you still haven't clarified. We're going to get to the phone. It's at 844-967-2789. You still haven't clarified one iota why any of this will prevent Trump from making the announcement and running for.
Nothing will prevent Trump from making an announcement. You can make an announcement. I can make an announcement. That doesn't mean he's going to be on the ballot and running for anything. It's a ruse, man.
Will.
Just like Bannon said. Oh, like Trump said, I will waive executive privilege for Bannon. Bannon's not all ready to negotiate. Yeah, of course you say that. When you're on the hook, that's what you say. It's done, dude.
He's going down to Florida. He's going to make the announcement in Florida. It's going to be like on Ron DeSantis' birthday. And he's going to stick it to Ron DeSantis. He's going to show he's the alpha male. And he's going to go and pee on the corner of the guy's house on his birthday. He's going to make a big announcement. Really huge. And he's going to run for president. I have no doubt. As smug as you are.
Do you believe, let me ask you this, that Donald Trump will appear on any ballot for 2024?
Yes.
I'd take that action.
Really?
Yes.
We're still seeing him relitigate the 2020. He's still on the ballot right now. Come back. More Devils.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeratAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
The Devil's Advocates.
Mitch McConnell did make a public statement, right? After he voted to acquit, nothing says the president can't be prosecuted. Set the example here.
Convince your caucus as to why the man is not fit to serve. How do you not use your leadership? See, you guys, this is crazy. We can't do this, and here is exactly Why? Because now of the two major political parties, one of them is under the thumb of a fascist insurrectionist.
Follow the Devil's Advocates on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm Kirk Fangstad, and I own the Minocqua Brewing Company in Deep Red, northern Wisconsin, and I have a super PAC. We make good trouble by buying billboards, radio ads, and calls to voters in northern Wisconsin. We target federal and state elections, think Ron Johnson and Tom Tiffany, and concentrate on a fair redistricting process. Give a donation now if you're able at the MinocquaBrewingCompany.com Super PAC tab. Help us make the politics of the Northwoods as clean as our lakes and streams. That's the MinocquaBrewingCompany.com Super PAC tab.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Devil's Advocates, radio for the 99%.
And we are back from the Garden of Eden. It is the last segment of the day. If you got something to say, hit us up right now. 844-967-2789.
You know, Inagata defeated. Didn't they play that in lacrosse at like 9 o'clock on Saturday nights? They roll into the weekend. Every Saturday night, 9 o'clock, 17-minute play out. I think the DJs would all go back and do a little puff pass, and then they'd come back and listen to the other 12 minutes of the song. Anyways, we'll listen to you if you call us at 844-967-2789. And Dom, I do have a little update on Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, what's up with Rudy?
Well, his conversation with Jesus. Jack from Merrimack, welcome back, man. What do you got for us?
Hey, Jack.
Hey, guys. You know, guys like CJ, they get to me every once in a while. Continually is blaming Biden for the greed of the oil companies. And I know because I own oil much stock. I've seen how much more profit, 250% more profit this last quarter. I mean, it's pretty clear. But it's not just that. And I think you may have mentioned it, but I got called away from the phone or from the radio. But I think you might have said something about this. But Trump negotiated with Putin and Ben Salman to basically cut production by about half of what the United States uses every single day. And that's really what causes the inflation gas price. And, you know, it's typical Republican. They make a mess out of everything, and then when the Democrats don't fix it immediately, they say, oh, it's all his fault. Such a bunch of I can't say that.
Yeah, don't say that.
No. Only Crudy can on Fox News. Good, yes, great points, Jack. And I misspoke earlier. I think I said Mexico instead of Russia. But yes, that is something that people need to understand, that what Trump did and what the ramifications of that was. I mean, oil was really cheap back then, man. I mean, it's amazing what happens. And that's one of the reasons they cut production, was to bring the price up.
Exactly right. That was the whole purpose. So again, they're buddies with big oil, and then of course all the other corporations saying, "Well, gee, they can do it, so I'm just going to raise my prices if it's us in or not." And there's a lot of that going on.
There is, Jack. Appreciate you listening, man. We got some breaking news we want to share before the show breaks. Ron Johnson's $280,000 cash gift to Chief of Staff and wife draw Senate's ethics complaint.
What?
Senator Ron Johnson and his wife paid his former Chief of Staff and his wife $280,000 in cash while they worked together, an arrangement Democrat says is a breach of Senate rules, according to ethics complaint filed Monday, noting the cash gift in the complaint had been publicly available for years. Johnson's spokesperson, Alexa Henning, called the complaint frivolous and said the Oshkosh Republican hasn't done anything wrong by gifting money to his former Chief of Staff and longtime friend, Tony Blando.
Tony, man, Tony and I were damn near neighbors up in the Appleton area.
Well, Tony should have been buying the drinks, apparently.
No doubt, man.
Henning declined to specify why Johnson made the payment. No. to knock up Tony's wife? What happened, Rojo? Henning declined to specify why Johnson made payments, but noted Johnson first contacted Blando in 2003 after Blando was diagnosed with cancer, and Johnson offered to pay for his continued treatment. The Senate has ethics rules meant to limit how much congressional aides can be compensated and also how much and from whom they can receive gifts. The Johnson's cash gifts to Blando appear to follow one guideline allowing aides to receive gifts from senators, but clash with another guideline saying cash gifts aren't acceptable. They also raise questions about whether they are an attempt to circumvent the compensation limits. Now, is this money they are giving to help Tony get treatment? I would wonder.
That's the indication. But 2003, man, that's a long time ago. Well, taking treatment 20 years later.
The money's coming in. What just happened?
I'm fine.
The money is coming in apparently in increments of like the max that you can gift out in each and every calendar year.
Yeah, I'll jump on here, Cody. Madison.com reporting federal records reported on Legistorm, a website that tracks congressional staffing, show Johnson and his wife gave Blando and Blando's wife each $24,000 in fiscal year 14, $28,000 in 16 and 17, $30,000 in 18 and 20 for a total of $280,000. Blando's salary was just shy of $169,000 in 14. Also in 16, 17, and 18, 4 cents shy of the maximum, and $172,789 in fiscal year 2020, according to the complaint filed by Wisconsin resident Lauren Bach. Blando left Johnson's office in January of 2021, according to his LinkedIn profile. Here's what Bach wrote. Senator Johnson violated both ethics rules and the clear intent of Congress to set salary and compensation maximum thresholds, wrote Bach, worked in conjunction with the Democratic Party of Wisconsin to file the complaint. That's right, fight back, baby. Bach, who federal filings show has donated hundreds to Democratic efforts, called the committee to investigate the violation of Senate gift rules and refer the case to the Department of Justice if necessary. In response, spokeswoman Henning said in a statement, "These were all legitimate gifts of the senator's personal funds that have all been previously disclosed for years and fully comply with all Senate rules and the Senate Ethics Committee." She added that Johnson has always gone above and beyond to abide by Senate rules and is confident this frivolous complaint will be dismissed because he has done absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, has been a faithful steward of taxpayer dollars, except for his flights to Florida. And, he's on the phone. I can't talk to you right now, and why don't you leave me alone? That's about it. There's more, but that's the gist of it.
That's the gist. Just the gist. So anyways,
I'm good to have friends, man. Kurt, gave me like $28,000. I mean,
the year,
man.
Years and
my arm is broken.
Your mental illness. I bet you I paid Martax to rival the numbers for Tony and his wife. I'm not saying precisely $28,000, but
hey, production meetings are a write-off. That doesn't count.
That weekend at the Win, man, I'd say that weekend in and of itself might have cashed you a year-end, buddy. So anyways, we appreciate you all joining us here on the Devil's Advocates tomorrow. Gene Santel, our fine Bill, informing us host of Morning Cannolis. I hope you thought of this Saturday morning, 9 to 11, every Saturday morning on Devil Radio and the Shaw. And J6 going live tomorrow. So, catch it right here. Always play live on Devil Radio app, I think. And, appreciate you all listening to this fine program. We're going to call it quits. Wrap it up and do it again tomorrow. You're listening. When we built the Devil Radio World Headquarters Towers in Madison, it was filthy with construction dust. A real mess. I called Magnific Cleaning Services and they made it shine. A few days later, we moved in and created a whole new mess. Magnific Cleaning Services made it shine again. Now Magnific Cleaning Services is the only cleaners I trust with the keys to my company. They clean Devil Radio affordably and with great attention to detail. Find them online at magnificservice.com for a free estimate. Tell them Devil Radio sent you. Listen to your favorite political talkers no matter where you are. 92.7 FM in Madison and Eastern Dane County. 1580 AM Columbus, north of Madison, and for daytime east-west commutes on I-94. 101 FM in the Shaw, and 540 AM covering eastern Wisconsin all day and covering the Milwaukee Metro, the Wild Counties, Racine, and Kenosha 24/7. Download the free Devil Radio app for your smartphone and take both stations with you everywhere. No excuses, just listen.
You are listening to WTTN 1580 AM Columbus, W224 EG Madison, always streaming on the Devil Radio app.
AP News, I'm Tim McGuire. The Biden administration, through the Department of Health and Human Services, tells hospitals they must provide abortion services if the life of a mother is at risk, saying federal law on emergency treatment guidelines preempt state laws in jurisdictions that now ban the procedure without exception. The department says its guidance doesn't reflect new policy, but merely reminds doctors and providers of their existing obligations under federal law. A petition effort in Michigan, which generated 750,000 signatures, places an effort to codify abortion rights in the state constitution on the ballot in November.
The number of signatures show that here in Michigan, we trust women, we trust people, we trust doctors, not politicians, to make decisions about our body.
Shanae Watson-Whitaker with Reproductive Freedom for All. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says Iran is supplying Russia with drones.
Foreign information indicates that the Iranian government is preparing to provide Russia with up to several hundred UAVs, including weapons-capable UAVs, on an expedited timeline.
Sullivan says Iran could be training Russians on how to use the drones as soon as this month. In Ukraine, Russian artillery continues to bombard cities. 6 people are killed in 3 missile strikes on a shopping center and in private residences in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. Russian President Vladimir Putin is making additional moves to annex areas of Ukraine already in his military's hands. St. Louis Federal Reserve President James Bullitt tells the AP the economy is healthy and shows little signs of an imminent recession and can withstand higher interest rates.
Now we have lots of inflation, but the question is, can we get back to 2% without disrupting the economy? I think we can.
Stocks down for the day. The Dow lost 164, while the S&P slipped 44. The NASDAQ dropped 262. This is AP News.
Attention. This is a special alert for all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an overpriced auto warranty or no warranty coverage at all. Due to the increase of new and used car prices, repair costs, and the price of gas, people are keeping their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on covered auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can save thousands for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. You could save thousands on future auto repairs. Our specialists are standing by for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-581-9027. Vehicle protection plan pricing is at an all-time low. Plus, drivers who purchase this coverage today will receive rental car options, free roadside assistance, and free towing. Call 800-581-9027 now for your free quick quote. That's 800-581-9027. What do you have to lose? Call 800-581-9027. Again, 800-581-9027.
Hi, this is Robert Pilot. How do you use your energy? Alliant Energy has spring cleaning tips to help keep you safe. When a natural gas appliance malfunctions, it can produce carbon monoxide, a deadly odorless, colorless, and tasteless gas which makes it hard to detect. Be sure to test your carbon monoxide detector every month to make sure it is in working order. Alliant Energy is a proud sponsor of Native Roots Radio. For more safety tips, visit AlliantEnergy.com.
I'm sick and tired of the pro-choice versus pro-life argument. It's past time we get honest with each other. Pro-choice or forced birth? That's what we will have if we take away the ability of women to make choices for their own bodies, their own futures. Send me to the U.S. Senate, and I will vote to codify Roe v. Wade. I will vote for the autonomy of women. You can find my position on all the issues at PekarskiForWisconsin.com and follow the campaign on Facebook and Twitter. This ad paid for by Pekarsky for Wisconsin.
If you think you need a home inspection, you probably do. Hi, I'm Todd Osborne of Orion Inspections. And buyers, sellers, and even flippers, I'm talking to you. Knowledge is power when it comes to real estate transactions. You'll get an image-packed, searchable, digital, printable report of the condition of the house, things to keep an eye on, any safety issues or defects, and the knowledge to make smart, informed decisions. Your instinct is telling you to get an inspection, and instincts are usually right. Learn more or schedule today at orioninspections.com.
President Trump lost the election. Joe Biden won the election.
Collectively, Republicans got 1.661 million votes, 51,000 more votes than Trump got.
He exhausted his cases. He exhausted the court challenges.
All the Republicans voted for Trump the way they voted for the assembly candidacy.
It was not rigged. It was not stolen. Donald Trump lost the election. Joe Biden won the election. It's really clear.
This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org.
For Devil Radio 92.7 FM and WTTN 1580 AM, I'm Luke Mathers with your headlines. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation announced the flex lanes on the Beltline will be opening on Wednesday, July 13th. The median shoulder lane will now be open for a 10-mile stretch between I-3990 and Whitney Way on the Beltline during morning and afternoon rush hours, as well as during peak congestion times like after University of Wisconsin football games. Opponents of Wisconsin's dark store loophole that prevents big box retailers from paying their share of property taxes in the state are hopeful the Wisconsin Supreme Court will rule in favor of taxing dark stores in a decision that is anticipated to be released later this year. On Friday, the Evers administration announced that Department of Safety and Professional Services Secretary Dawn Krim will be leaving the administration on August 1st. 5 of the 6 beaches surrounding Lake Monona were closed over this past weekend due to elevated levels of blue-green algae and E. coli bacteria. You're listening to Devil Radio 92.7 FM and WTTN 1580 AM.
Native Roots Radio is an independent product and has a joint sales agreement with Devil Radio. Enjoy.
More brutal. Couldn't cut. Didn't cut anything.
Because all the hippies are trying to be Indians anyway, they're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade.
Hey everyone, welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm your host today, Wendy Pilot. I'm sitting in for Robert Pilot. He's doing important Ho-Chunk legislative work, so Ogama and I will be hosting tonight's show. On Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, we discuss local and national Native American news and events. And as you know, Ogama, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. This portion of the show is brought to you by Native Roots Trading Post. We're excited to be at the Minnesota State Fair starting Thursday, August 25th through Monday, September 5th. In the meantime, you could visit our online store, Native Roots Trading Post. Now we're going to go to the news. Oh, before we go to the news, I just wanted to tell everyone it's a special show tonight. Ogama and I will be here hosting the show by ourselves, and we're really excited because we're going to be talking about everything that we want to talk about. So up later on, after the news, we're going to be talking about the PRO Act, which is the bill to protect reproductive health. We're going to talk about Joe Biden's executive order and some updates about that. A protest is happening in St. Paul, Minnesota. We'll let you know about the news on that. Ogama is going to be talking again about more Native American news and indigenous news, so we'll hear that. And I will be talking about wolves later on in the sacred animal section at the end of the show. But before we do that, let's go to Ogama with the news you won't hear anywhere else.
Hi, Bonjour, Anine, everybody. I'm Ogamaganua. My name means strong golden eagle woman, and I am a citizen of the Red Lake Nation in northern Minnesota. I currently reside in central Minnesota, and I'm happy to bring you the news here on Native Roots Radio. I always like to take the opportunity to uplift the tribe that I'm a citizen of, Red Lake Nation. Just from a recent article here from Lakeland Public Television, or Lakeland PBS, which is the local station where I live, Red Lake Nation's Economic and Development and Planning Committee, excuse me, I have a cat in here who just jumped from a high place, so
My cat will be
she's fine.
visiting any time now, so that's
She's
okay.
fine, but if you heard that, she's all right. Anyway, Red Lake Nation's Economic Development and Planning Committee has been working on ways to improve food security and concerns for the community of Red Lake by creating 3 agriculture divisions. And what they've done is they built a buffalo ranch, which is now currently fenced in with 280 acres of land and will fence in another 300 acres in the next year. There will be 140 acres of hemp and hay for feeding the buffalo that will rotate each year. And there's also going to be about 8 acres of fenced-in garden with fresh produce to provide for the community of Red Lake. The Red Lake Department of Agriculture also hopes to build future classrooms on the ranch in order to help both youth and the public learn more about agriculture. They also hope to have around 600 acres of land for produce and buffalo when the fencing is complete. This is a huge step towards food sovereignty for Native people, so I cannot express how proud and excited I am for Red Lake Nation to be taking this step. Red Lake Nation is a bit of a food desert. We talk about that in urban populations, but in Red Lake, there's 1, maybe 2 stores, and it's especially during COVID, it's been especially hard to get access to things. And baby formula has been a big issue, and fresh fruit and fresh produce is also an issue as well. So to have access to be able to grow those things and to distribute those things as a community without having to rely on outside sources to do that is a huge step, and I'm very proud. So, which leads me into my next story. A big part of the reason that is, here's my cat, say hello, so important is because there have been reports, the Guardian released an article just today or yesterday, I believe, microplastic contamination has been reported in beef and pork for the first time, as well as in the blood of cows and pigs on farms. So scientists in the Netherlands found particles in 3/4 of meat and milk products tested, and every blood sample in their pilot study. They also found in every sample of animal pellet feed tested microplastics, which includes obviously a route for contamination, and the food products were also then packaged in plastic, which is always another possible route for plastic contamination. The researchers also reported microplastics in human blood for the first time this past March, and they used the same methods that they used to test for that on animals. Currently, the impact on human or farm animal health containing microplastics within your system is really not known, but they're concerned because microplastics can cause damage to human cells in a laboratory, and air pollution particles are already known to enter the body and cause millions of early deaths per year. And they also know that some wildlife is also known to be harmed by microplastics. Wendy, I think you know a little bit about the oceans being harmed by that. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the seafood that you eat, even the salt that we use in our salt shakers have microplastics in it.
Exactly. Yep. Huge amounts of plastic waste are dumped into the environment. And they believe that microplastics have contaminated now the entire planet, all the way from the summit of Mount Everest all the way to the deepest oceans. And people are already known to consume tiny particles via food and water, as well as breathing them in. So this is, I guess, what's funny is that they're reporting on this for the first time as it, this is the first time they've detected this. But when microplastics are so prevalent, I mean, you have to imagine that would be the case, right, Wendy?
Oh, absolutely. I think about my grandmother. She died when she was 96 years old, and when she was a kid growing up, she didn't have all these pesticides and pollution and things that she put in her body were pretty, organic and natural and stuff like that, because that's how it was back then. And I think that's why she lived so long. But you don't see many people nowadays living until they're 96. Most people are unfortunately dying of cancer of some sort or another because of all the pollution and pesticides and poison that we eat. We really can't help it. It's just in the food that we have.
Exactly. There's almost nothing that you can do. There are some routes that you can take and some things that you can do to try to limit your exposure, but at this time it's pretty much close to impossible to completely avoid it, which is absolutely devastating and stress-rendering for a lot of people, I think, especially people in my generation and younger. I have a 9-year-old at home who worries about these kinds of things. It's definitely something that is affecting people all over the planet. And if they found this in meat and pork products, the beef and pork and milk in Switzerland, I can't imagine what the levels look like here in the U.S.
Yeah, I'm sure it's here, and I'm sure that's what's happening. I mean, when I was a kid, I think I told the story on the air once. In the springtime, when the mosquitoes were coming out and the bugs were coming out, these trucks used to go through our neighborhood. Now, I was like, I don't know, 6 years old. These trucks would drive through the neighborhood and spray for the bugs and the mosquitoes, and it was like a white cloud. And we used to think it was fun. We used to play in the clouds. We used to go and run and play in the clouds. So I'm sure that the chemicals that they were spraying have long been taken off the market because of these horrible things. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for what's going to happen to my body very soon. So,
I have to just put those things out of my mind to function as a human being in the current times. I just really do. The last thing that I wanted to touch base on today is going to lead us a little bit into our next segment about the right to abortion access in the United States. State Senator Mary Kunish sent this to me, saying a Ramsey County judge today ruled that many of Minnesota's restrictions for abortion are actually unconstitutional. The district court decision stated that the abortion laws violate the right to privacy because they infringe upon the fundamental right under the Minnesota Constitution to access abortion care and do not withstand strict scrutiny. The ruling applies to the restrictions in the statute